hello everyone. Today I have one of my amazing students of the Planify community. Her name is Raquel, and she's going to share a little bit about her journey selling digital products. And I want to start by sharing how we connected, because I don't remember how long ago, but I started offering like some market research calls, and you signed up for one of those, and we had a very nice chat. You shared with me that you were starting your Etsy shop with your partner. You were working really hard on your Notion templates. And not long ago, you reached out sharing like what you were working on. A lot has changed. So I wanted to ask you like how your experience selling planners and Notion templates led you to what you are doing today.
So hi, Leticia. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's a pleasure to be interviewed by you. And thank you for this presentation. Yeah, it was really nice to find you along my journey. I was already working on my Notion templates for my Etsy shop. It was not even my first shop because sometimes we cannot get things right at first. And the thing that caught my attention was this: I was already having a store, and I saw your academy. It looked amazing, and I really wanted to know more if I could be a fit or not. Since I saw you were further ahead in the path, actually, I got to you because I saw on social media that you have reached your 2,000 sales, and I was like, oh, really nice. And I wanted to know more. And when we were talking in that call that you mentioned, there were two things that I will not forget. The first one was that it shifted my perspective around content. It was that conversation. Okay, so we were discussing if I was fit or not for the academy, and I remember that you're talking about mindset, and maybe that since I already have a Etsy shop that was flourishing at its own pace, we were more like talking about mindset and more about how can I integrate all of that I was also learning through the process and learning with other people, and try to make this thing more mine. It was really nice to have that chat with you.
Yeah, that was great. I remember that. And it's absolutely fine. Like most of the times, like we never like get things working in the beginning. I remember like when I launched my first templates, they didn't sell anything, but I kept going, then something eventually worked. But what matters is that you got the results you faced, as we talked about in the call as well. You really faced your fears. You really allowed yourself to be uncomfortable, and that's why you got the results that you have. So do you want to share with us like how it was for you when you made your first sales, when you saw that it was like started working? How did you feel?
Yeah, so that feeling, we can never forget that feeling, because we work especially for this Notion template, me and my boyfriend. Okay, so I have a store with my boyfriend. I feel like it's a good time to introduce that. I'm working with my partner, and when we were doing it without knowing if it's going to work, without knowing if anyone is going to like our templates. We like them, but is anyone going to like it? And even more, we learned this in a hard way, but we can have like an amazing product, but if we cannot show them to people or make people understand the value of it, maybe it will never start to get some traction. So when we first started to get some validation that all of the months that we were having our 9 to 5s and working in the weekends and saying no to some stuff and focusing without knowing if it's going to work, when we get that reward, it was, besides the open, it was okay. Maybe we can create something that's worthwhile sharing, and maybe open doors for other stuff like it actually did.
It's very easy to get overwhelmed when you are starting a digital product shop because there are so many distractions. So what was the biggest lesson that you've learned as a seller, that if you could go back and do anything different, what would you do?
If I could go back and do anything different, what I would do? Maybe I would launch sooner. Because
I love that.
You get it? Because I think I waited a little too long. We waited a little too long because it was maybe before it was perfect, which is not even there. So it's never going to be perfect, but we try sometimes to maybe if I did just more this and just more that, and maybe we could have started before, getting some traction before, learning along the way, because even if we launched on one day, we have to always do some stuff after, improve, tweaks here, tweak there, to make it work even better. So I would not be so perfectionist. It sounds a little bit cliche, but it's actually true. Especially maybe with some design stuff that probably only me is getting into that detailing, but being oriented to details is also important. But when we are starting, we wanted to start like we already know what we are doing really, really, really well. And sometimes we just need to get started and getting better along the way. That was because my mindset was not like this. It was like, no, if we did everything more perfectly from the beginning, then everything else will go. No, we have to do a minimum viable thing and then keep on improving.
Yeah, I love that. Just like out of curiosity, because I do get this question all the time from people that are considering getting started. How did you get your first sales? And if you had an audience previously, did you have an Instagram account? Did you have followers? If you had like a community before you started, because this is something that holds so many people back. So if you could share something like that to help others.
Sure. Okay, so when I decided to start the Etsy shop, I didn't have a professional or an Instagram account that I was like posting the typical vacation pictures. So no, not at all bringing people to my store, and neither on Pinterest, at least in the beginning. So what we did was we decided to not even start with advertisement. We just publish them and ask our closest niche of people to give our opinion, to watch them. They are also like techie, so they can give an honest opinion about it. So we decided to see if that could help bring some more visibility to our store. And it was like not before like 20 days or something like that, and even without the ads, there was like the first sale on a financial planner that people were like searching a lot at that time. So it was like a good feed for what people were searching. And after that, fortunately, what was in the beginning, it was really about people sometimes asking us on Etsy stuff, and we were like giving a really, in our modest opinion, and good customer service, and people come reaching back to us, and also leaving reviews, which also then makes other people more confident to make their decision. And it was word of mouth from friends, and then it started to be from clients, and eventually we started to trying to reach to more people according to how Etsy allows us to do the marketing inside of it. But for social media, I also had my link after a few months. I put my link in my Instagram, but there was no, since I was not using the Instagram to actually convert to nothing, it was just there. But social media was never like the way that we try to do it. I did some postings to experience, because I'm a scientist at background, so I like to try and experience what if I did this, and to see if I can funnel some people to the store. And maybe in the next months I'll have some things regarding that as well, but it's step by step. And that's important, but in the beginning we were like trying to play with the cards we had in hand.
That's really inspiring. So there's still hope, even if you don't have an audience yet. And I remember when we had that chat like a while ago, I remember that visibility for you was a big challenge, like showing up. Just the idea of posting a reel or sharing something on social media was really challenging for you. And now you just started recently, like posting on your personal Instagram. You are sharing more about things that you are working on. You added a link in bio. So what changed for you? And what, like, as you started facing this fear, what changed as well? What opportunities became available for you?
Yeah, the visibility was a pain point for me, because it's not that in the backgrounds when I'm with my computer in my office, it's like easier. But I also understood that we are in a digital world. I'm also a programmer, so I know the power of internet, the power of everything feeling connected to everything. So we have to show and attract the people that might be interested in ourselves and what we have to offer. Okay, it was a big deal for me for a couple of reasons, but I think that the main reason was that question. Like, who am I to be talking about this? Did you get it? Like, who am I to be talking about this? There are a ton of people that are going to also try this or talk about this, that are ahead of me and that have already this and that. It's that comparison, okay? And that's where it gets tricky because it can paralyze you and make you feel shaky. But in my case, I try to look at it and it's like, okay, I can be inspired by this. That's why I also reached out to you. Why can I? This is something that maybe I envision myself doing if I was not that afraid of what other people are going to think, but not in a weird way. Maybe I'm not that good. It's that fear of like imposter syndrome, that all of that things that every entrepreneur is very familiar with. This was one of the big things that was really difficult for me. Waking up and probably wanting to share stuff, but then not feeling at the same time that proud yet, that not that confident yet about it. But then I follow your advice, okay? This is important because you told me to start recording myself randomly without the goal of posting. And that also helps me be more comfortable, right? With seeing myself or with thinking about how can I convey this to a message. This was really important for that part of the mindset because I was being blocked by something that I should not be afraid of, neither me, nor you, nor anyone else. Everyone is going to be listening. Don't be afraid because actually people are going to judge if you do it, if you don't do it. So I might as well do it and do it your way. Okay. So this is the part of the mindset. Specifically, Raquel, in my situation, also I was really blocked, and this is going to probably hit deep on some people. I had a 9 to 5 job, and also it was hard for me to not do the work besides the hours, not putting my free time in the service of my business. But it was hard for me to have a job and also talking about having a business at the same time. I don't, it's, I was like, oh my God, maybe if I did say that I'm doing two different things, it's going to sound that I'm not probably doing neither. I don't know, that crippling doubts. That was also blocking me. My job was like making me feel that I was at service at someone else's duty. So it was also blocking me to showing up as I really wanted, because maybe I cannot be that authentic. Maybe I have to be more careful with that. And that was really like making me having a lot of ideas. Okay, this is important because I have the ideas and I have the will to do it. I felt trapped inside my mind and inside my circumstance. So I have to peel the layer, first the mindset, and then the external, so that I can reach to this place that you were describing, where I no longer am afraid of that. Sometimes I'm a little bit afraid, but I do it anyway.
I love that, honestly. This is like the mindset. It's so important because it all starts with the mindset. I know a lot of people think, oh, mindset, oh, this is not that important. But if you have the idea, this story in your mind, who are you to talk about this? You're not qualified enough. You are not good enough. What actions are going to come from that kind of story running in your mind? So the first thing you need to change is the story. Yes, I am qualified. I just want to share. I'm just having fun. I'm just going to share something that is working for me, and it just focus on whatever you're doing. That's exactly what you are doing. And that's very inspiring. And also, I would love to know how this Etsy shop evolved now, because you recently reached out sharing that you are now a star seller. Congratulations, which is a huge milestone on Etsy. It basically tells everyone, hey, this is a great shop. You can trust this shop. It has raving reviews. It has great customer service, and it gets a special space on Etsy. So that's a huge milestone. But since our last conversation, you said that evolved a lot. So you're not just on Etsy anymore. And can you share a little bit about that, how that evolved and you went beyond Etsy?
So Etsy was like a really good starting point, and it's something that we give and put our attention on. However, with life experience and with talking with people who are actually having their businesses and listening what they were saying. Sometimes uh, they rant about stuff and you're in the right place at the right time. And when people are ranting about productivity, organization, and actually Notion, I was like, okay, maybe I can start talking to people and see if there's anything more than just the Etsy Notion template store that was running. We can now have more extended offer, and we can try to reach to some business that could also leverage the power of Notion. And also, like I said, since I have also a background in programming, also thinking about the operations, we were having this bubbling in our mind for a long time. Okay, it was not like static containers, like, okay, did the Etsy shop, and then did we have all of this in our soup, in our minds, cooking. And then what happened was, like, I was in the right place at the right time, and I met my first client actually in person. I actually showed her the Etsy shop and said, we can do this, but we can also help you with your business. We can do whatever you want. We can have a chat, and I can understand the business requirements, what you need, if you need anything that we can help. Since I worked as a tech consultant in a big company, and I was also used to that, to understand the client's needs. So I was trying to also use my skills. And that's how we got the first client. It was like really looked like the old times instead of the modern times. But this was just the first time, because then the power of the digital entered, and we expanded. We started to see that we delivered the project. The client was really happy. The feedback was good. We enjoyed what we were doing, and then we started to think, how can we start to build an offer that actually starts to be more solid and deliver this to more people and to get to that people. And one amazing day of my life, I woke up and I saw that this first client that I helped in real life and connected in real life, without me knowing, she just shared the story, thanking me and tagging me in my personal Instagram that was not ready. No link in bio, nothing. It was just there. And she just tagged me saying, thank you so much for helping organizing. And if anyone who needs help, please talk to her. Wow, I was not ready for what happened next after that, because then I saw the power of word of mouth, the power of doing a really good job, even if no one knows about it, and doing a good job nurturing and really giving value, so that people, even without you asking, start to talk about it. And then we got the next clients from there, because it's a snowball, because then one people got referenced by the other. And that's why I also decided to make even more effort that I was previously considering to do, in increasing the visibility and increasing the offer. So we now have like the Etsy shop, which is like the passive income that's there. We can like tweak it here and there, add new products, which is important. But we also moved, like you said, beyond Etsy, and now we are working with B2B, with an agency that we can offer our services, either Notions or automations, so that we can offer a more personalized offer that we can offer on Etsy, where we have like general templates, uh, but personalized and to business. We think that with our experience, there are, in our feedback, okay, just our feedback is that there are needed, even with a lot of people already being in IT, in digital, there are the need of people who organize the operations and have the know-how to connect the dots, because people are really good artists, really good business persons in some stuff, but there are some tweaks that regarding the digital transformation, we are trying to be the solution there. It's going well. Let's keep working for it to keep going well.
Yeah, I know the internet is so powerful, and we are so lucky to be living in this era where it can literally change your life overnight, but it's not really overnight, because you have the skills, you are ready. Even though your Instagram wasn't like professional, you didn't have a link in bio and all those things, you worked on your skills, you were kind of ready. You were ready for the clients, otherwise they would not come. No one was gonna recommend you if you are not ready. So congratulations, that's very
Thank you.
inspiring. And we talk, like me and Raquel, we have like coffee chats and etc. We always love to talk about astrology and crystals and all the esoterical things. And she
Yes.
recently turned 30. So if you know astrology, you know this is one of the hardest periods of a human, like a human going through a lot of transitions. So can you share a little bit about like how was your Saturn return, and like how are you feeling? How was that process for you, like getting closer to turning 30 and starting a business and having a 9 to 5 job? So how was that for you, and how did you go through that?
Okay, so yeah, the big 30, they're here. I survived. I'm feeling okay after it. Well, I decided in the beginning of the year, this year, I decided, well, so this is my last ride in my 20s. And I knew that around, I saw it for my case, that around my 27 to 29-ish period is going to be my Saturn return. And here we are again in our esoteric moods. So Saturn is the planet of responsibility, and regarding the Saturn return, it's a return. So it's returning to the place where it was when you were born, and according to astrology, it is said that it's coming to evaluate if the life decisions that you have done in the past or the path that you're choosing, it's aligned or not. And I have that in mind. I have that in mind way before it, because I'm into this kind of topics for a long time. And I actually enjoyed my 20s knowing that, yes, in a way, they are the best years of our lives. However, they don't have to be the only years that are considered the best. Actually, now I think that probably the best is still waiting. But I got that mindset of trying different things, understanding if this path is for me or not, because I knew that eventually I'm going to have to lock in and commit on one path. So might as well see. That's why I started with a PhD in biochemistry and microbiology, then also consulting, programming. I tried to follow the lead of my intuition, and if I was not feeling that a path was aligned to me, I give it a try, give it my best, learn from it, and keep following it. When the 30s, they got close, I felt that, bear with me, this is philosophical. I felt that I was not where I wanted to be at all. But I was on my way and I have everything to get there. This is the thing. But it's not about I'm already there. I'm not there. I don't know if I will ever be there, but I know that with this maturity, that hopefully as we're aging, we're getting more and more, I got the ability to be aware, evaluate my path, and decide if I was going in the right path or not. That's why I did some bold decisions regarding this. Decided that my last day working at a 9 to 5 was going to be my 30th birthday. So I quit my job the exact day I did 30, because it was a promise that I made to myself that I'm not going to be working in a consulting job after my 30th. Because I decided it was time to be more authentic, and it was time to follow the things that I've always planned, but was too scared or too afraid, or even thinking that I should be waiting for a better time. And the time tick-tock, the clock is ticking. So yeah, it was really a period where I was hoping to be more sad or more nervous than I actually was, because I planned it really well. I decided that even though I decided this, and I have 6 months to make something work, to get clients, to replace income, to understand if I really want to do this, if I have what it takes, if we have what we need to continue with our efforts regarding the business, the agency that we are building. So I think I followed through the natures and astrology rhythms of reassessing and making the decision. Okay, that I felt that if I did not exit in this route now, probably it would be harder to do it. So I decided to take a leap of faith, but it was a leap of faith that was planned and thinked and thoroughly Notion template level of organizing, to understand the logistics, money, deadlines, and all of the things that we have to do when we want to change our lives, right? Because this is not an easy decision. Also sharing with people, it's not easy. because not everyone understands it. This is something that all the entrepreneurs probably can relate. Like sometimes people don't understand what we are doing, and it can feel that we are reckless or something. But I think that it's important for us to, at least one time in our lives, don't just follow like the social expected, and try if you can. Of course, if you can't, you have to try and work even harder. But if you feel like you have the chance, probably take it in, especially around 30, like you have the experience, but you are not into that much responsibilities, hopefully. So it's for like, especially for us women as well, that we also need to take into account what we want in life. So yeah, it was a good time for me, a reflection period.
Thank you so much for sharing that so openly and being so authentic. And I think this is gold online, especially these days. Like, we don't see people sharing like how it actually feels. I feel like we go on YouTube, when we watch videos, we can only see people saying, hey, I'm already rich and I'm a millionaire. And that's exactly how it happened. But you share your journey so authentically, sharing like it was challenging, you were not sure, but you planned for it. And be sure to share this template as well. Like, people might be interested. People might be interested, like, on having exit plan, because as adults, you cannot just drop things. Unless you live with your parents, unless you don't have to pay like bills, you don't have anything. But if you are an adult and you have responsibilities, you have bills to pay,
Yeah.
it's the best thing that you can do, even though it will take longer, is to have an
For
exit
sure.
plan and build that safety for yourself, because it's going to make it so much easier when you actually go through that very intense period, because I've been through that as well. It's very challenging. It's a lot of pressure from yourself, from other people. And congratulations on having courage, like, to
Thank you.
having the courage to follow what you believe and working for it, because you're not just waiting for people to bring like success to you and bring freedom to you. You're actually creating it. And that's why I love to call people in my community the freedom creators, because it's in our hands. Like, we have the choice, we have the tools, and it's all about having discipline and facing those like challenging moments and making it happen as you are doing it. Before we close, I would like to know if you have anything that you would like to share. Maybe what advice would you give to your younger self? Maybe if you could go back and give younger Raquel, before her 30s, something, what would you say to her?
I would say something to her and to everyone interested is, please don't stop documenting your journey, either through writing, through photos or videos. And also, please don't stop. Please don't wait until you think you have everything before you start it. Don't think you need like a cozy, nice house for the background, or the amazing video editing skills, or anything. Everyone will have their inner little demon. But I think that if we really start doing things without expecting, I mean, probably it's true that our first 100 posts are going to suck. It is what it is, but you have to do them in order to do the other ones. You have to make, like, you have no idea how many Notion templates I did that were like, okay, reasonable since 2019 comparing to now. Okay, so sometimes you just have to, don't stop. I was like, keep pushing, because you don't want to give up before time. And also, please don't wait until you have everything you think you need. You probably are more equipped, like you even said to me. You're probably even more equipped than you think you are. Yeah, and yeah, maybe I'll share the template. It's funny because I called it the freedom template. It's the freedom template because
I
it was
love
my freedom
that.
plan. So,
Can you
so
sell
it's
me
fun.
the license so I can share with my community? It
Who
aligns
knows?
perfectly with my brand.
Exactly. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because like the reason why I started my business was because I wanted freedom, and freedom changes like every year. Is something, it changes a little bit. So when I started was freedom through organization, so it frees your time. Now it's freedom, okay, now you have more options, more sources of income, more like building a safety net with like digital products and growing and everything. So everything evolves, but it's so inspiring to see your story, like how you are evolving. And I'm excited to see like how you're going to be like a year from now, because you have so much potential. You have the mindset. You are, even though everyone has these demons, we all have it, everyone has it. The difference from someone who actually makes it happen from than someone that is just like overthinking is because we choose to go through it. No matter like if you don't have the coziest like
Yeah.
scenario, if you don't have the camera, if you don't have the skills, you figure it out, you find a way. And that's exactly what you did. So thank you for sharing that. With the reason why I started my business was because I wanted freedom, and freedom changes like every year. Is something, it changes a little bit. So when I started was freedom through organization, so it frees your time. Now is freedom, okay, now you have more options, more sources of income, more like building a safety net with like digital products and growing and everything. So everything evolves, but it's so inspiring to see your story, like how you are evolving. And I'm excited to see like how you're going to be like a year from now, because you have so much potential. You have the mindset. You are, even though everyone has these demons, we all have it, everyone has it. The difference from someone who actually makes it happen from than someone that is just like overthinking is because we choose to go through it. No matter like if you don't have the coziest like
Yeah.
scenario, if you don't have the camera, if you don't have the skills, you figure it out, you find a way. And that's exactly what you did. So thank you for sharing that with our community. Okay, so now if you are interested, you can reach out to Raquel if you are interested in anything related to automations, operations, and AI as well. As you guys know, she worked for a long time in tech, and she also has so much knowledge in Notion. So if you need help, go and reach out to her on her Instagram. She's not hiding anymore. You can find her link in bio now. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Leticia.